4-4-9 game?
Yeah.
Alright.
I almost reached. I only really. I had the most damage on the team, but I barely reached 20. Almost reached 20,000.
Okay. Well, yeah. We can go over it. Against the Zed, it's a pretty interesting matchup. It's a lot of
Yeah.
outplay on both sides.
Yeah, he did really well that game too.
Hmm. He's silver. I'll be the judge of that.
Well, I mean, his KDA, not game.
Ew. What does
Doesn't
that
work like
matter?
that. I mean, you're right.
I know. I'm just trying to shift your mentality a little. Oh, click on the little what's that movie? Trolls? Yeah, that's what Zoe reminds me of.
Yeah. There's little dolls you can get.
It's funny, right? Hang on. I need to change my camera placement and my OBS so that it doesn't get in the way. Okay. That should be better, I think. Hopefully. I'll see. Yeah. Yeah, maybe slightly to the right. Okay. That's about as good as it's gonna get for now. Alright, so what do you know about this matchup?
Uh, I know. I have advantage on him once he has cooldowns. But
Okay.
I know if he once he gets level 6, I gotta play like a little bit more safe.
Okay. Any other levels you have to worry about?
Level 3.
Level 4.
Yeah, level 4.
That's not bad. You get that because he's bad. I it's good that you punish. Mm. Yes, he has discipline.
A little slow start.
You should move up. You should move up. You're playing really far back when he has no cooldowns. We'll go over this. I just want to address it for now as we go through the game.
Mhm.
Oh my god. What am I watching? You know if you pop the bubble with Q, you do more damage, right?
You mean
This
Q then E?
no. So the E gives him a bubble.
Hmm.
It's like it's a debuff. If he goes to sleep and you proc him out of sleep, because your next ability procs him out of sleep. If you
Hmm.
proc him out of sleep with Q, you're going to deal more damage, like
Yeah, yeah.
significantly more. Oh dear God, this is hurting me to watch. Okay, from both sides. No, walk that in. Walk that in. He wants to walk up to auto attack. The more he has to throw Q, the more useless he is. If he's dedicating his combo to clearing, he's going to be useless. Yeah, he shouldn't be backing up here. You have E on cooldown. He doesn't have to be scared of you. Yeah, see Kane coming off top side. We need a ward on bot because Kane just killed him in his top side jungle and took the entire top side jungle. You're at a significant disadvantage right now, and I wouldn't throw spells at wave. It's very mana inefficient. You don't have enough to continue to stay like this. Zed will end up beating you eventually because he's an energy based champion. You're also feeding him the wave by pressing it in. God, Jesus. You have to stop using bubble on it wave. If he was any good, as soon as he saw that, he would be killing you right now. You should be like 2-0 in this, or 0-2 in this lane. All he has to be scared of for Wing onto you is your bubble. Oh my god, your lane position is horrible. Your movement's are really bad too. Don't think that I'm like a roast coach or anything.
No,
I'm
no, no.
literally pointing out like every little nuance. And I know
No,
you're
I
new
know.
to the game, so
Yeah.
because
I
once
wouldn't
I
be doing this if I didn't need help.
yeah no absolutely and once I point the things out to you that I see, you'll be like, oh yeah, duh.
Yeah.
Wow, he's so bad. Oh my god. Oh, this sword is really, really poor. You should be backing right now. Is the thought process is if he engages on you right now, what answer do you have with this amount of mana? With 53 mana, you don't have an answer.
No, I think I was just trying to finish the wave and back.
Yeah,
I just didn't want to miss too much.
it's it's not worth for the kill because not only will he kill you and then you'll miss the wave anyways, but he'll actually get more XP because you'll be losing XP.
Yeah.
XP value is worth more than CS in mid lane early game. God, why are you just face checking this? Oh, you're lucky he's awful. Dear God. Dear God.
I just watched
He literally can't hit anything, man. Even in gold, this guy would have killed you like 5 times. Okay. We'll go over your op.gg after this too, if you'd like.
if you want.
I think it's the most important things for climbing. Okay. You shouldn't press this wave. He has the strong advantage right now. Oh, dear God. Yep. He actually is CSing just as poorly as you are. You still taking minion dematerializer?
Yeah.
I wouldn't recommend that.
No?
No, it's awful right now. The first time you were able to use it was at what, 7 minutes? No,
Somewhere around
like 5.
6.
It just takes too long. The only reason people were really taking minion D was for early game pressure. It was on. You couldn't lose mid lane if you had minion D.
Yeah, I was just trying out that build. I saw one of the TSM guys use it. I was just looking at it.
I don't know why you're doing this.
Let's see. Riven was flaming me for not moving enough, so I came to come and help
So?
him.
Fuck her.
Yeah.
Great player, by the way. This is the Riven that you're ganking for.
Yeah.
A lot of mechanical failures here. I don't recommend that you play this champ. Please don't tell me you live. Please, for the love of God, don't tell me you live. Thank God. Because if you don't die there, you don't get punished for that. That's so bad. Well, at least they have reduced death timers now. Not getting as punished as hard as you would before. Okay. We gonna go to lane? No, not today? Okay, here we go. We're gone. What are we doing while we're walking to lane?
At the moment I was looking at the other lanes and stuff.
Okay. You have Hex Flush.
Yeah.
We might need to go over some of this. Yeah, I wouldn't have done this with Eon cooldown.
No, I did this because Kane was right there. So I was hoping that if he were to push me, Kane would just come and help me out, and then I'd have my E by then.
Yeah. Are you going to tag him at least? Wow. Okay. Great players, by the way. You should auto after that combo.
Oh, I couldn't see him. He's in the bush.
Alright, okay. Fair.
That's why I walked a little bit towards him, just to...
Yeah, yeah. Alright, so at this point you've lost the game. I feel like everything that happens after this is kind of negligible. We need to address you have to put it politely, you fucked up so much at this point that I could probably talk for an hour. So to spare us, which is we'll highlight through like some of the more key things you're doing wrong. Okay, so we come out, we've already opened queue. As an advisory, I would say don't start an ability until something happens, although on Zoe you're almost always going to start Q. But still, it's a habit. Alright?
Yeah.
Also don't stand here. During the first minute 20 before wave hits, you want to stand like here, here, or even here, depending on where jungler starts, right?
Okay.
Allow for more vision for your team. Just use yourself as a ward.
Okay.
This ward is interesting. I think that you're expecting Wukong to red into level 2.
Yeah.
See, alright, the way that this lane works, okay, I'll back this up, because you've kind of already fucked it by placing ward here and allowing Zed to auto-attack the wave. So, where's it at? Here we go. That down, that down. You're good. Alright, so the way that this works, right? So Zed wants to successfully CS like at least 4 of the first 6 minions. So this here is exactly what he wants to try to establish some sort of lane dominance, but he can't really do that because he's Zed. He can't necessarily auto attack against a Zoe without taking punishment, right? So in order to gain a slight lane advantage, he autos one minion, thus lowering its health, because Zoe is one of the most oppressively push heavy champs in the game. You can't outpush a Zoe. Almost no champ can. Especially if, done right. And so, unfortunately for Zed, all 3 of these minions so happen to die around the same time. If you were just to allow both minion waves to meet in the middle of mid lane, they would effectively die at the same time because of how even the lanes are, right? So to avoid this, Zed auto attacks 1 once, so he's able to successfully Q at least 2 out of the 3, and most likely all 3, simply because he got this auto attack. So by giving him this auto attack, he's more or less gotten 3 CS. So by you placing this ward, you're a little late to lane, and it doesn't seem like a big deal, but you can successfully fend him off of about half of this wave if done appropriately, because that is inherently extremely weak early. Long cooldowns, high energy cost, given to his relative energy regen rate. Okay.
Yeah.
So you need to be here right now. Okay. If Zed Q range looks like this, something like this, maybe a little larger, right?
Yeah.
Maybe like this. Alright, if Zed Q range looks like this, then you want to be standing here on the edge of it to where if he throws it, you're able to dodge, but not close enough to where it's undodgeable, not far enough away where he won't throw it. You want to try to bait out the ability, thus weaken him in lane. Early game, you just want to be playing as far forward in the lane as you possibly can so that you can effectively zone him off of the CS. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah, I know you're watching on stream, so it'll be a little delayed, but just to, put it all in perspective for you when you catch up, that will make more sense.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, the auto attack is good. You don't need to press this wave out. Alright, by pressing this wave, all you're going to do is feed him. You want to use this Q to zone him off of the CS. Alright, and I
And then
don't...
just stall it.
Yeah, so you just basically sit here and wait, and you last hit the CS. And I don't think you understand when to zone off of CS and when to press CS. When you're against a matchup like this, when you are an oppressive lane bully against someone who's inherently weak early, every CS is a contestable objective. This represents gold value. CS on both sides, his represents a gold value for you, and yours represents a gold value for him. So by fending him off and seeing it as a contestable objective in lane that you can manipulate and win the lane off of, you can inherently gain an advantage that you can carry later on into higher stages of the game. It also puts him significantly further behind. It makes it more difficult for him to win the game. So this minion right here, okay? Let me just put this in perspective for you. Okay. This minion right here. Alright. This is your now contestable objective. You would like to throw Q. And do you have Q up? Hang on. Let me backtrack a bit. Okay, you have Q up. This is a contestable objective. If you play in a pocket like this, off to the side, well, yeah, you've effectively killed his minion, and he's trying to kill yours. Alright, and since you pressed the lane earlier, you kind of evened it out, and that's fine, because he was able to get the auto attack off, and you more or less stagnated the lane anyways, because you were at a disadvantage with minion health in lane. So you want to stagnate in the middle and oppress him as much as possible. If you stand off to the side, Zed has one of two options. He can either Q the minion, right, and take the damage from you, because if he's Qing the minion, he's forced to stand still because Q has a 0.25 second cast time or whatever it is. Or he can Q you, potentially miss, and then he misses the minion no matter what, because Q has like a 9-second cooldown at level 1. He can't effectively Q both targets. If you stand in a straight line, or anywhere within this vicinity, this red one is the no-go zone, okay? By standing in here, well, that might even be closer to this. And closer to this, yeah? Alright, so the circle difference represents like your avatar. This is basically the radius between the outer edge of the outer circle and the outer edge of the inner circle represents basically your avatar's base state, to where you'll be hit, right? If you understand what I'm talking about, that's this little imaginary circle that exists underneath you where you actually are hit by abilities, alright? This is roughly comparable to the size of the circle, alright? So if you stand anywhere within this circle, which it represents your avatar's base state, then Zed can effectively Q the minion and you. Not saying that he does, I can't actually remember what he does here, but that's a correct play, because he wants the minion, but he also wants to damage you. You're a contestable objective as well, because he inherently loses this matchup due to you being a lane bully. But if he can reciprocate the damage, and he would thus not fall as far behind in comparison and relativity to you being further behind. So if you bring him down to 100 health, but you're also down to 100 health, it's the same thing as you both being 1,000 health. You know, granted, it's just a matter of who executes who faster, but by standing off to the side, in this circle that I've indicated, it makes it impossible, and he has to choose. He will never, any decent Zed, okay, will legitimately never take this Q. If this minion is within 9 seconds of dying, because if it's within 9 seconds of dying, he can't take this Q and then effectively throw Q at that minion as well. Good Zeds are pretty decent really decent. They're really mechanically inclined at understanding when this minion will die, and if it's within 9 seconds, and they will throw this Q at you right on the cusp of 9 seconds, and then they will throw the next Q as soon as it comes up, and right before this minion dies, they'll throw it onto the minion, and they'll effectively hit both. All right, but you don't have to worry about that. This guy's trash. Okay, what you have to worry about is giving him a choice. Is he going to use his ability to CS, or is he going to use his ability to hit you? By playing back like this, you're also giving him the lane. You're basically just saying,
Only giving him one option.
yeah,
And making him think.
yeah, exactly. And by standing back like this, you're like, hey, this is my relative zone of oppression. Look, I can throw Q here. Look, this is not a noose. You're not hanging yourself. Just come do it. And he's like, okay, because you're not trying to hurt me, so I don't have to do anything. She's like, yeah, I'm not trying to hurt you. I can't possibly hurt you. This is my radius. He's like, okay, cool. So I'll take the CS. You're like, yeah, thank you. Take the CS. All right, right on. I'll take the CS. Have a nice day. I'll see you later in the game. Right on. Let's have a stalemate and just hard farm. All right. You have to give them the rope to hang themselves with. You have to disguise it as candy. That's what my coach tells me. It's like, here's the rope. No, no, this is candy. You're right. It's candy. Here, take the candy. Ah, thank you. Oh, that was a rope. I got you. That was a rope. You clever motherfucker. You got me with the rope. I got you with the rope. All right. That's how you have to think about it. Give them the rope to hang themselves, but make it look like candy. I hand people ropes and I make it look like a rope. It's a rope disguised as a rope. Yeah, this is not a rope. Wait, that's a rope. Okay. And then you basically do that concept for the entire rest of the lane phase. So although I can address it the next 20 times it happens, I just want you yourself to look at it. This is what should have happened when he went to contest that first minion, right?
Yeah.
You should have done that. All right. But just watch. Every time that it happens, he wants to CS, and you don't contest it. That CS,
Yeah, because I
you
pushed out.
yeah, a better Zed wouldn't have auto canceled that. That's what I say when I mean he's trash. Look at how he's moving. His lines are straight. I can literally track where this guy is clicking on the map or on the terrain. Look, I promise I can. All right, he's here. He's here. He's here. He's here. Okay. All right, and I'm going this way. All right, and then it's back over here, and this again. Okay, and now I'm up. I'm okay. I'm down. All right, I'm playing passive because I have no Q cooldown. It's literally like you're basically doing the same thing too. You're moving slightly more unpredictable like that, right? You're kind
Yeah.
of kind of
I'm
doing
trying to
a little
work on
better.
it. So
Yeah, and I know it's a work in progress, but
I should be pushed up more here, right?
yeah. I don't know if you saw me coach the number one Zoe in the world, but
Yeah.
this Zed would have been dead like a million times if that guy was playing Zoe. A
Yeah.
million. He would have
I
already
watched some of that.
yeah, he would have already died probably 4 times. If he was watching this right now, he would literally be having an aneurysm. He might not be able to survive. See,
What's that E?
yeah, the way that you've managed your lane mana is really poorly.
Mhm.
So, given the amount of mana that you're missing, he should be blown through all of his pots and half health right now. Every time he goes up, see, now he's able to freely go for that CS. Again, he misses it because he auto attack cancels and he's a bad Zed. Alright, but you should have thrown that Q at him.
Yeah.
So just be analyzing that in your own games when you go on from now on. Because I can point it out to you all day long. I can even live coach you, but it won't necessarily help anything.
Mhm.
You literally just threw your entire kit. This lane is so fucked right now. You literally lost off of what you've done, but he's bad, so he doesn't know how to take advantage of it. He should never be able to auto CS for free. Never. Oof. Wow. The W.
God, looking back at it, it's so painful.
Yeah. Why not auto him? He's still on cooldown. Hang on.
I think I was more afraid he was gonna W onto me, Q and E.
He's still on W. He's still on W. He's still on W. Look, this is Faker right now. he can't do anything because although he's Faker, well, Faker would probably flash, EQ,
Yeah.
ignite, auto. But this guy's, whatever. But this guy's Faker right now. Regardless if he's Faker or not, he doesn't have it. He doesn't have W. A Faker doesn't have W. Faker doesn't have W. It doesn't matter if he's Faker or not. All right, or Pobelter or anybody else. No W is no W. Yep, and here we submit the lane priority because not only is he about to hit 6, but we have no mana to do anything. You should be dead here. Yep. So the way that you manage your mana in lane, you understand why you've managed it poorly, right?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
using way too much of like my E's and
Yeah.
stuff. And just
You understand that you're standing inside of the minion wave and that you're allowing him the opportunity to damage you while CSing, right?
oh yeah.
You also understand that that minion blocks you and makes it more difficult to move within the lane.
Mhm.
If you're in a matchup like this where you can move to the side of the minion wave, always do it because see this is yeah,
Yeah.
again, should be dead. I think he's auto attack canceled probably close to 500 damage right now. Yeah. In 5 minutes he's probably lost 500 damage. Yeah, this is where you start getting really greedy for the CS because you don't understand how the lane is going to balance, right? So let's back up and look at better times where you could have CS'd. Or where you could have backed. You want to back when when it's no longer efficient to stay in lane, basically. That's why backing exists, right? So when is the most inefficient time for you to stay in lane?
When you're low on mana.
This right here lost you the lane. Right, right here. This lost you the lane because this amount of mana, or I mean, it's not just mana value, but it's health value, it's XP value. If you die to Zed a lot early, then you might need to just come back to lane and back repeatedly because he's just going to kill you over and over again. Same with Yasuo. Same with certain matchups that can be avoided by going back to lane, although you lose out a hefty amount of XP, they're not killing you, so there's that to be said for it. See the state of the lane right now, okay? You are pressing into him. The lane is crashing into him, and even if he instantly clears this, which he doesn't, I don't think, because he misses this entire combo, you'll still be able to back and only miss 2 CS. Alright, this is an effective point where you should be returning to base. Not only that, he also just hit his level 4 power spike. A better Zed will 100-0 you right here if you don't have this barrier under W, which is why I was kind of disappointed that you had barrier, because it saved you. Even against this guy, I'm pretty sure it saved you.
Yeah.
Okay, we've already gone over that.
Ever since you brought it up, it's so hard to watch.
Yeah.
I feel bad for you.
It's awful. No, I mean, I love coaching. It's, don't feel bad for me. It's just, I once played like this, I think. Alright, let's go over this. Alright, so increasing the size of your silhouette and take 1. Yay, let's make ourselves bigger. Okay. Alright, so what did we explain earlier about character animation base models? Alright. This is roughly the size of our base, right? I don't know the exact size. You get my point, right?
Yep.
Just like this is the size of his base. Okay, these are the things that you're aiming for with skill shots. If we take and understand that within certain parameters, you can only move so close to a wall, alright? Those parameters look something like this. Then we can understand how by moving where you're moving, you are effectively increasing the silhouette of your base size, right? If we move closer to this wall, then we are actually making ourselves larger because it's making it impossible for us to dodge. I've frozen this basically like maybe 20 frames off of when he actually casts the ability because I want you to see that this is the point where you can dodge down. Okay, you can effectively still escape to a relatively safe location, although you staying in lane at this point is disastrous and you've already lost. You can effectively still win this particular mechanical failure by moving down, by moving towards your turret. Literally, any of these options are significantly more advantageous. Okay, all all of this is no zone, right? Because obviously he's a melee champ and he wants to get closer to you. This is all no go zone, right? Because it would just screw you. Okay.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, everything else is not a no go zone, and debatably some of this is as well, like down towards your, bot red side jungle. But that doesn't matter. Okay. What matters right now is that we're actually looking to not increase the base size of our silhouette. If we were to press up against a wall, then it will become effectively impossible for someone who knows how to throw a skill shot to miss. This guy actually somehow finds a way to manage that, and let's go over that. Let's look at it from his perspective. Okay, for the love of me, I have no idea how he misses this. I think he's throwing it in the one spot that you can actually throw it and not hit you. Okay, so we've taken our silhouette now. This is bad. And we've pressed it right up against the wall, actually, almost as far as we possibly can. And Zed recognizes this. And so his paths of delineation are going to look remarkably similar to this being his E radius. Right here, path of delineation for Q, path of delineation for Q, and then, well, he doesn't have ult yet, so I won't go over that. And then path of delineation for another E radius. Okay, so legitimately, all he effectively has to do here is EU, W auto, and then Q because now you're slowed. If he throws Q, I mean, let's look at the unlimited amount of potentials where he can throw Q and not miss. He can throw Q here. He can throw Q here. He could throw Q here. He can even throw Q here. He can throw Q here. He can throw Q almost anywhere on this fucking screen and not miss you.
Except for the thing he did throw it.
Yeah, I think that I can actually highlight the places that he can't throw Q faster. Yeah, and not kill you. This is just insane to me. But you see what I'm talking about. You're increasing your size because you're up against a wall. You can't move this way anymore. And he knows that, and so he's taking advantage of it. So you've effectively pillared yourself off here. There's basically just a huge Zed shadow here that you can't walk towards. Not really, but you get my point. You can't move this way. And now you can't move down because he's thrown shadow. This is actually a very well placed shadow. How he knows to do this but doesn't know how to, how do you know how to wipe it, take a ship, not wipe your own ass? Like, I don't know. You're almost in your 20s. Move out of your mom's house, Dave. Jesus Christ. So he's effectively blocked you off using the wall because that's where you chose to move. And then he blocked you off going down because with shadow you can't go backwards because of him. You can't really go up because he's just going to auto you more. He's going to take you further away from your tower. And he somehow finds a way to fuck this up. Well, I'm actually curious, where does he throw Q?
Throws it straight, thinking to keep walking.
Dear God.
Yeah.
Dear Jesus. Oh.
He missed everything.
It's rough. It's rough. You see how you put yourself into that position.
Yeah.
This is why playing in this elo will make you bad forever. Because things that would obviously be punished in higher elo that you would learn from more quickly, you never will here. This is why lower elos in Korean solo queue ladder are higher than the higher elos of Western solo queue ladders. Bronze in Korea is like gold in NA. and for good reason, because you get flamed for little things like this. You die for little things like this. Again, I could go over that same thing. He literally did it again. Literally did it again. I don't even know. Mid lane is like a wave, right? As he presses up with an advantage, you press back. As you have an advantage, you press up and he presses back. If he fails to press back, you win the lane. If you fail to press back, he wins the lane. Or in this case, you fail to press back and he somehow blunders the lane over and over again. And then you do the same thing with him. I don't even know. Because the entirety of the rest of the game doesn't matter after this. I don't even think there's a logical course of action other than this specific game against these specific players that you can possibly win this. I mean, granted, it's silver, so
It's silver. It's anybody's game.
I could probably set my toddler on my desk and she would win 1 out of 10 games.
Probably.
I have faith in her. Okay, 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10.
Yeah, probably a little more actually.
Yeah. I mean, she is my daughter, of course. It comes from greatness. It's a little high on the mana expenditure. Just because you can throw spells doesn't necessarily mean you need to. You also want to keep the lane closer to your tower because you are against an assassin who has to get onto you in order to kill you. Or so if he ults you right now, where would you rather be? The middle of your lane or under your tower?
Under my tower.
Yeah, and the lane was pressing into you. So why did you press it out towards the middle of the lane where he has the advantage?
I wasn't thinking.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking either. I don't know. Look, it's candy. No, that's a rope. Okay, that's a rope. Don't take the rope. I won't take the rope. Thanks. Have a nice day. Oh, what's happening on top lane? Oh, let's see. Great players, by the way. All right, let's dance in the river. Is this... At this point, this isn't necessarily a bad gank because mid is pressed out the way that it is. Don't know. Are you aware that your E extends if you throw it through a wall?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you aware that you just threw E at a moving target that only has 1 movement ability?
Yeah.
Are you aware that you threw Q and then flashed for W and then didn't throw Q again?
Yeah.
Okay.
When that happened, yeah, I kind of wanted to smash my desk.
Just making sure. Also, you flash before Zed's ult ended. That comes with practice, but you need to time it better. As soon as he lands on the ground, he'll land behind you, and then you flash. If you want to effectively make it more difficult for a Zed to hit you, although good Zed mains won't care. They'll be like, "Oh, nice flash, bro," you'll be dead. Also, that guy didn't need to flash. He could just W'd you. Oh, look, a rope. Huh. Oh, that's candy. But like I say, with Zoe, there's too much room for mechanical failure. She's just like Victor. Actually, she's significantly harder than Victor, but it's going to take at least a solid 1,000 games unless you're a god to be able to... I think she got to lane slower doing that. To be able to accurately pilot the champion. She has too many advanced combos. Yep. Zed knows that your E's on cooldown. Or he doesn't, and he's an idiot. I don't know.
Well, I think we've already established she's
Yeah.
not all there.
Who knows? Maybe this was his one good play. He's like, oh, she has cooldowns.
Yeah.
Nice scuttle, by the way.
Yeah.
Great players. Great players.
Wood division, by the way.
Wood. It's gotta be Dirt 5.
Dirt, by the way.
Dirt 5. Get wrecked, by the way.
Dirt 6 coming soon.
Imagine if you could infinitely fall on the solo queue ladder. This guy would be at the very bottom.
I think another problem I have with CSing is I get really impatient, and I try to hit it instead of just waiting to last hit it. Like
Yay, thank God he killed you. Okay, this game's over. Or it should be. I don't think, first of all, you should be as worried about CS as you are. I can tell that you're destroying yourself in your monopool trying to get the CS because you're like, oh, numbers and numbers at a certain time. Like, it's not as important as you're prioritizing it.
hmm
Very few games in the CLO. Actually, probably no games in the CLO. Maybe 1 out of 100 is going to be anything remotely close to being determined by CS. So it's not something you need to worry about until you climb higher. And by higher, I mean like D1. Because there are plenty of people in mid diamond that can't CS that are just mechanically able to press buttons well enough to delete people. Okay. But I think we're going to stop there. Plenty of things that I showed you that you need to work on. And keep in mind that I'm addressing the very basic things. There are a lot of advanced things you also need to work on that I can't tell you because I need you to learn 2 plus 2 before you learn 2 times 2.
hmm
Okay? And that's not to be insulting, but literally baby
No,
steps,
no.
one thing at a time, trying to teach you the right way, no bad habits, don't rush CS, yada yada, alright, etc. Don't, until you get these basics down in the future, do not roam.
Okay.
Okay? Do not focus on roaming. Focus on other lanes, but do not focus on roaming. Have awareness, but do not feel as though you are obligated to roam to other lanes. Just like junglers are not obligated to gank lanes.
hmm
However much I may flame them on stream for not ganking my lane. Okay? They're not obligated to gank lanes. Alright. What questions do you have?
Uh, what matchup should I avoid going Zoe against?
I don't think that if played adequately, there's a matchup that she can possibly lose. There are some that are more difficult, like the Kassadin matchup.
How about Talon?
Even that, she's just such a versatile champ. She has such a wide range of combos. If effectively played, Zoe is one of the most overpowered champions in the game. If you can pilot her correctly, she's god tier champion. She has very little counterplay. And Aslet of CC, very untouchable. So, but like I say, I don't really recommend that you play Zoe. I think that she's going to be a little too mechanically adept for you right now. Even if you wanted to pick up a mechanically adept champion, I would say, like, I'm not trying to play Zoe right now. Because, like, I play Azir, I play Ryze, I play Cassiopeia, champions that are inherently mechanically difficult. But even I'm not playing Zoe because of how difficult she is. I don't want to put in 200, 500 games to learn a champion. When I can just learn Annie in 10, or Malzahar in 20, and do just as good after those 20 games that I will on a Zoe after 500 games. So comparatively speaking, what's your time worth? Would you rather climb now or later?
I mean, since I just started, I wouldn't mind um, taking the time to learn a champ and be really good at it, especially when, like you said, she is very powerful if you know how to play her and you master her.
Alright, let me put it in perspective for you, and I don't know if you've heard me use this analogy or not. Um, I use it a lot on my stream. Alright? You know who Magnus Carlsen is?
Yeah,
Yeah, really.
chess guy.
Yeah,
The chess.
okay. If I played against Magnus Carlsen, neither you nor I have ever played chess before in this scenario. If I played against Magnus Carlsen every day for the rest of my life, and you played against a 4th grader every day for the rest of your life who isn't good at chess, then we meet at the end of our lifetimes. Who's going to be better at chess?
The guy who played Magnus,
Why is that?
because he's playing against a higher skill uh, opponent.
Yeah, the brain is a pattern recognition system. Okay?
Yeah.
By playing against these players, just like this Zed, you are observing poor patterns, and thus you will reciprocate poor patterns. Can't do it anymore, but there was a time when I could play Zed solely off of how I've seen D2 Zeds play against me. Now I could play him effectively and carry the shit out of gold and plat games. Couldn't carry in a diamond game because I couldn't play as exactly mechanically adept as they could, but you get the point. Alright?
Mhm.
I was playing significantly better than I would have had I only observed silver Zeds. So learn a champion, don't get into the bad habit of trying to make a very mechanically difficult champion your main and thus limit yourself. If you learn something like an Annie or a Mouse or something that just free wins games, you'll climb to a higher division more quickly, a division that actually will teach you something. And that's what it's all about. That's why people want to climb. Well, that's why people should want to climb, right? So use a champion, climb to an elo where you'll actually learn something, where you'll actually be punished for your mistakes and learn what is good and what is bad. And then worry about branching off to mechanically difficult champions. If you want someone advice who's been playing the game for like 7, 8 years, almost a fucking decade, if I could go back and do it all again, I would be an Annie main in Season 1. Okay, and I would probably already be Masters or Challenger. But instead I'm Diamond because I like to play Cassiopeia. Or Plat, because whatever. You get the point.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's my advice. It's not my life. You live it how you want, but as a coach, I'm here to advise, and, that's what I would highly suggest for you. Plus, given your playstyle, Annie is much more forgiving the way that you like to press your lane relentlessly. Her Q is free CS. If you care about numbers, then just play Annie. Get free CS, then blow people up.
I think the only reason I care about numbers is because the people who I play against and play with are always nagging and going on about CS and stuff, so it kind of rubbed off on me.
Yeah, that's why I mute all at the beginning of every game. These players are no one. These players are
Yeah.
trash. Don't worry about these players. Okay? These people are legitimately no one. They have been hard stuck for seasons in Silver. It doesn't matter. Okay?
That was actually really helpful.
Like I say, we're just capturing the basics right now. Okay. Take some practice, just like in the practice tool. Alright,
Yeah.
practice on these basics, and then learn a champion that's more forgiving. And, come back when you want something VOD reviewed, when you hit Plat in like a week or two because you spammed Annie. Just go spam 25 games in Annie and see how effective it is.
I think I'll try Mal's.
Yeah.
I like the way it plays.
Mouse is more of a do-nothing champ until later in the game. Yeah, I mean, you've seen me play plenty of Malzahar, so...
Yeah.
Not effectively. I think I'm a really trash Mouse, but I still beat people with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so go forth and do great things and do all that. Actually, let's go over your OP.GG really quick. Well,
It's really ugly.
yeah. I don't know if there's
prefer
really...
not. I prefer just
Yeah,
give
yeah.
it some time,
Okay.
get
That's
everything
fair.
working.
Yeah, I think we've addressed what champions you need to play and everything. That's going to be
Yeah.
about as good as OP.GG as we possibly can do right now. Okay.
Go out anyway.
Yeah. Alright, sounds good.
Alright. Well,
Alright, yeah.
appreciate it.
Until then, man. Good luck. Later, bro. Ooh, that was cancer. Jesus. Why can't I play games? Okay.